Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, then my name is Carrington, and if this is also your 100th time here and you guys have not yet hit that subscribe button or click the little bell to be notified of all my future uploads, I absolutely invite you to do so, and let's get into this very exciting video. I have not seen anybody do a review about this Natasha Denona palette. Just because generally, if there's something that I'm super interested in buying, I am not trying to watch other people. I want my reviews to be my own personal opinions. I don't want to hear what anybody else has to say about it. I'll watch them later. But I purchased this Natasha Denona mini palette right here. This is what the mini Xenon palette. Why did I want to say it was like the mini something else? Anyways, it was like the mini Xenon palette. And literally when I took this out of the package, I instantly thought, I feel like this look reminds me of the Smoke Show palette. So when it comes to like the packaging, being completely black and like grayscale, but then, when you open it up and put it side by side, there are some very, very alarming similarities. And granted, I don't use a lot of Smoke Show. I really don't. I don't do a whole lot of like black and white looks, gray looks, anything like that. So if you do, you know, these might be good palettes for you. I personally don't. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that also probably aren't getting the most use out of either of these palettes. However, there are some market differences and some market things that I think that we should talk about. So if you guys want to see my comparison with these palettes, as well as is the Natasha Denona one worth it if you already have the Colourpop one, or if you have neither, is Natasha Denona better quality than the Colourpop one, or are you getting a better deal with the Colourpop one? If you have all of those burning questions, want to know my thoughts, opinions, what look I come up with, then definitely keep on watching. Alright, so let's first go ahead and let's just like talk about each of the palettes, shades, swatches, everything like that. So first up we have this Natasha Denona palette. This is $25 and you get 5 shades. So that's going to be the equivalent of like $5 a shade. The pan sizes aren't like the biggest, as you can tell, and again it only comes with 5 shades. So let's go ahead and let's see, I didn't want to do this. So obviously, like if I read this from like, this would be the blackest black. Obviously that's not what that shade is called. So let's go ahead, let's do some swatches, and then we'll talk about the Smoke Show palette. So here are all the swatches from the Natasha Denona palette. So first up, you probably won't be able to see it. I mean, you can kind of see it, is the shade Puff right here. Then we have the shade Mist. Then we have that shimmer, which is called Chromatic. We have Gloom, and last is Blackest Black. So here are the swatches of the Natasha Denona. Now, as you can tell, this shade right here barely shows up. Alright, so then let's talk about the Smoke Show palette. So this is from Colourpop. $12, you get 9 shades. You get a mirror in here. And this is only $12 for 9 shades. So it's like $1 something per shade. Let's go ahead, let's do the swatches that are probably closest to Natasha Denona and do some comparison. So the lightest shade right here in comparison with Natasha Denona is obviously markedly different. This one is kind of more of like a peach, and the one in here, Young Love, is more of like a white. So then the next up, the one that's closest to the Natasha Denona is the Colourpop one. Oh my gosh, duh, obviously, is the shade Stone Face. When you look at these, this one is slightly more of like that slate gray, and this seems to be more of like a true gray, but then again, these are both like very close. All right, then in comparison to Natasha Denona's Chromium, we have Colourpop's Starstruck. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really looking at these in person and I really don't see a difference. I see no difference at all. Okay, so then Gloom is closest to the shade called Slated. Honestly, these are, again, very, very similar. Colourpop swatches better though. Colourpop swatches better than the Natasha Denona one. And then last, for the blackest black, is the shade Let's Do It from Colourpop. Okay, here's the thing again, very similar, but Colourpop again swatches a lot better. So overall, the things that I'm seeing is these are so closely similar. Every last shade except for these two are different. However, the white shade and the lightest shades, oh, as I'm almost dropping the palettes, that would be lovely, is that they're so light you're not going to really be able to see them anyways. So it's not like it's different enough that it matters. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm actually going to want to do a look using these shades on my eyes and see how similar or different they are. So let's go ahead and let's dive into the look. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do an eye look. So I'm going to start with the Smoke Show palette on this eye, and then Natasha Denona will be on this eye. I'm going to use the exact same brushes, and I'm going to just color switch them each and every time. So first, let's go ahead. Let's start off with Smoke Show and Young Love, this little white shade, just to set the lid. Because the eye primer I have on, I feel like works better with a set base. Brush is now color switched, so let's go ahead and let's move on to the Natasha Denona Puff shade, and we're just gonna set that other eye. All right, so here are both of the eyes sat and primed. I honestly, oh, there's a little brush here. Oh, nice. There we go. I honestly see no difference. Even though one was white and one was a little bit more peach, I don't see much of a difference. So now we're gonna move on into the, I guess I'll start with Colourpop. The Stone Face, I have color switched my brush again because I just want to use that same one. And we are going to just start putting that into the crease and just kind of work with it. There. I'm just applying really light pressure. I don't need a ton of pressure because I just want to slowly build this up. Okay, so we have a very light transition tone. Let's go ahead, let's color switch my brush. All right, and then we'll go into the shade Mist right here in the Natasha Denona. Now, with the Colourpop one, I only needed to really build up the color twice. Where's my mirror? I lose this mirror all the time, all the time. All right, so here are both eyes done with the Natasha Denona and Colourpop. So we've got Colourpop over here, Natasha Denona. I went in twice with both. I feel like, however, going in twice with this one got to this shade, and really I probably only needed to go in once with the Natasha Denona. So the Natasha Denona definitely had the better pigment. However, whenever you also look at the swatches, the Natasha Denona had better pigment there as well. So let's go ahead, let's dive into the Colourpop, and let's use the shade Slated, and we're going to bring that lower into the crease as well as on the outer corner. I just lightly coated my brush. I'm using smaller brushes just because blacks can get really intense and really heavy really quick. And so I want to make sure that I have like a very precise brush and things aren't going too out of hand too quickly. Okay, so here's some like building up of that slated shade, and then we're gonna go into the Natasha Denona Gloom shade, and my brush is color switched, and let's lightly just like dab on in like I did with the other side, and we'll just start building it up. Okay, I feel like I needed to go in with more dunks to build up the Natasha Denona to what we got for the Colourpop. As I put that on my face. Lovely. However, the Natasha Denona blended so much easier and so much more effortlessly than the Colourpop did. The Colourpop I did have to spend a little bit more time with, whereas the Colourpop one, I mean, just glides right on beautifully. All right, so now we have one more shade from each one, and I am taking like the tiniest of brushes, the tiniest. So first I'm gonna go into the Let's Do It shade, just like lightly tapping that in, because I really just want to create like a little like V on the outer corner. Color switch the brush. We're gonna go into the Blackest Black from Natasha Denona, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So here are all of the mattes together. We have the Colourpop, we have the Natasha Denona. The Natasha Denona, the deepest of the black, was a little bit harder to blend out than the Colourpop one. I don't know if you can tell, the Colourpop one is really more blended. This one kind of just isn't as blended, but overall, like looking at my eyes, you wouldn't be able to tell which is which. And then we're gonna go into the shade right here called Starstruck and place that all over the lid. And then we're gonna go into the Natasha Denona side for Chromium. I feel like the Colourpop one is maybe a little bit more vibrant and in your face. The Natasha Denona one, I've gone over twice with, and I think that the Colourpop one's a little bit better. Honestly, can't tell the difference. But let me go do the rest of my face off of camera. I will come back and then we will just talk about the final results. All right, so I am back with the final face. I am loving how everything is looking. Again, the eye looks look very, very similar. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the palettes as a whole, and let's talk about if you really need both, or in all honesty, if you really even need the Natasha Denona one. So first off, my son handed me a Tootsie Roll. Thanks, buddy. The swatches, the Natasha Denona ones did not swatch anywhere near as good as Colourpop. The Colourpop ones really had a lot more pigmentation to them in terms of applying on the eyelids. The base shades, so like the white in the Colourpop one and this like peachish one, once applied on the lid on top of a base, I really didn't notice much of a difference. I really didn't notice a huge difference in color. In terms of the lightest gray shade, I will say the Natasha Denona one was a little bit more pigmented. With the Colourpop one, I had to go in on this side a couple times, whereas this one really once kind of did it. In terms of this gray slated shade, I think it looks the same on both eyes. I don't think there's really any difference. I feel like the only really big difference was this was just slightly a little bit easier to blend out. Like I didn't have to spend as long, but really spending $25 for 5 shades or $12 for 9 shades, and the fact that it did blend out, it just took maybe like a little bit longer, that doesn't bother me. The black in the Natasha Denona, however, was a little bit harder to blend out, and it was not as pigmented as it was as the one in the Smoke Show palette. Also, the Natasha Denona, what is this? What do I want to call it? Shimmer, I feel like is not really as like intense or as beautiful as the Colourpop one. I feel like the Colourpop one won. This is one swipe with my finger over the lid. This one is 2. And I just feel like it's just not as vibrant or as intense. However, in the Colourpop one, you get a mirror. You also get 2 additional shimmer shades, which are like beautiful, like kind of like gun smoke kind of colors. I mean, look at those. Stunning, beautiful. And then you get 2 additional shades. You get 2 additional little like glitter shades right here. You got a black with glitter and a gray matte with glitter in it. And again, pigmented, beautiful. Honestly, this one could easily rival the Natasha Denona, this one, easily as well, and be very similar. So overall, I really do not see the need to buy the Natasha Denona one. If you think you need the Natasha Denona one because you are a Natasha Denona stan and you love everything that is Natasha Denona, thanks bud, you know, go ahead. But honestly, if you already have the Smoke Show, just go ahead and stick with this. $12, 9 shades, and a mirror. Nice compacted case. Some of the shades perform much better than the Natasha Denona. You also get some added shades that aren't in there. I just feel like that $25 for the Natasha Denona when the Colourpop one is just like so similar. Like I could walk into work, and I am going to be walking into work later. Nobody's going to know the difference. So honestly, save some coin, get this. You get more shades, you can do a lot more looks. So go ahead, 100% save your coin, get this, but not this. I don't think you need this. So it's currently out of stock on Colourpop's website. I don't know anything about like if they're bringing it back, if they're not bringing it back. I'm guessing if they're not bringing it back, then yeah, I guess it'll be fine with the Natasha Denona. If they are bringing it back, I would totally hold out and wait for this. I would also say if you already have this, skip the Natasha Denona. Don't spend the extra money. Just have a Natasha Denona in your collection when this is better. Okay, I said it. This is better. If I was an everyday consumer and I already had this and I bought this, I would be really disappointed. I would be super upset. Not gonna lie. I got the exact same look, and I feel like the Colourpop one, the shimmer, so much better for like over half the price. So much better. I did see this on Macari for like $20. So still, even then, even though it's like $8 more, this for $20 is still cheaper than this for $25. You still get more shades, better quality than you do with this. So there's that. All right, that is it for today's video. Let me know if there's any other palette dupes you want to see that's out there. But yeah, overall, if you have this, please do not waste your money and get this. If you don't have either, you can go on Macari and get this still for cheaper than you could this. But if you're like, I'm a Natasha Denona stan, go ahead, get this. But like really, honestly, this is the winner. It's a clear winner. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's any more dupes you guys want me to test out. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, if you like seeing dupes video, as well as comment down below your thoughts on these palettes. Let me know if any of these even intrigue you. Let me know if you own the Smoke Show and if you bought the Natasha Denona, and if you're also kind of disappointed. Let me know all of that down below. But other than that, hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Click the little bell so you're notified of all my future uploads. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.